Your dog has a secret language, a way of saying, "I love you" without a single word. In this video, you'll discover 10 silent behaviors that prove your dog truly loves and trusts you. Most people think these gestures are just cute or random, but they're not. They're signs of loyalty, safety, and deep emotional connection that only appear when a dog feels completely loved. And here's the shocking part: 90% of dog owners never recognize them. Stay with me, because the third behavior might completely change the way you see your best friend. Let's start with the first one. A behavior so simple you've probably seen it 1,000 times, but never realized what your dog was really saying. 1. When your dog follows you everywhere, it's not neediness, it's devotion. You've seen it 1,000 times. You get up to pour a cup of coffee, and there he is padding softly behind you. You move to another room, he moves too. Sometimes you turn and catch his eyes already waiting. Calm, steady, and full of quiet meaning. Have you ever wondered why he does that? Is it habit, curiosity, or something much deeper? In the wild, wolves follow the leader of the pack, not out of fear, but out of trust. When your dog shadows your every step, he isn't clinging, he's choosing. He's saying, "Where you go, I belong." To him, your footsteps are safety, your scent is home, your presence is the heartbeat that keeps his world steady. It's not dependency, it's devotion. Studies in canine behavior show that dogs release oxytocin, the same hormone that bonds a mother to her child, when they watch or follow their human closely. So that simple act of walking behind you, it's his way of keeping the connection alive, of making sure the rhythm between you never breaks. And maybe you've noticed, when you're sad, he doesn't bark or whine. He just lies a few feet away, quiet, watching. Because in his mind, protecting you doesn't always mean guarding. Sometimes it means being near enough to feel your breathing. So next time those paws follow you from room to room, don't brush it off as clinginess. Think of it as his silent vow to walk beside you even in the smallest moments. And if you think that's touching, wait until you see what he does when he feels completely safe enough to sleep beside you, belly up, heart exposed, trusting you with everything he has. 2. Sleeping belly up, the ultimate act of trust. You've probably smiled at it, your dog sprawled across the floor, paws in the air, belly bare to the world. It looks funny, maybe even lazy. But what if I told you that pose isn't about comfort alone? It's about something far deeper. For a dog, that soft underside is the most vulnerable place on its body. In nature, no wolf would ever expose its belly unless it felt completely safe. So when your dog does that in your home, right in the middle of the room, maybe even beside your feet, he's saying, "Here, I don't need to guard myself. You are my safety." That upside-down moment is more than cute. It's sacred. It's his body whispering a truth his voice never could, that in your presence fear has no meaning. Scientists have found that dogs' heart rates slow when they sleep belly up near someone they trust. Their muscles relax, their breathing deepens. It's a physical surrender to peace. Have you noticed how his paws twitch, how his lips curl slightly, as if he's smiling? He's not dreaming of running. He's dreaming of staying right there under your roof, under your protection. And maybe the most beautiful part, he doesn't care if the world sees him like that, because he knows with you he'll never need to defend himself again. But what happens when that same dog looks you straight in the eye, quiet, steady, unblinking? That's not defiance. It's something far more intimate. And it's the next secret most people completely miss. 3. That calm, silent stare. It's your dog's way of saying, "You're my world." There's a moment you've probably felt, but never really understood. You're sitting on the couch, maybe reading or just lost in thought, and you suddenly notice it, those eyes. Still, focused, watching you quietly. No bark, no wag, just that steady gaze. It's almost human, isn't it? Almost unsettling. You wonder, what is he thinking? In the wild, two animals locking eyes is a challenge. It means tension, dominance, the start of a fight. But when your dog looks into your eyes, something entirely different happens. He's not measuring strength. He's reading your soul. To him, your face is a map. Every blink, every sigh, every tiny shift tells him who you are and what you feel. That stare is his way of tuning in, of syncing his heart to yours. Science has a name for it, the oxytocin loop. It's the same biological dance that happens between a newborn and a mother. When your dog looks at you and you look back, both your brains release oxytocin, the hormone of love, of bonding, of calm. You literally chemically fall in love with each other a little more every time. But it's more than hormones, isn't it? It's something ancient, something that whispers, I know you. I trust you. You're my home. That's why he can look at you for so long without flinching. Because to him, you're not just his owner. You're his heartbeat in human form. So the next time those eyes meet yours, don't look away. That's not just a stare. It's a vow written in silence. And if that connection feels powerful, now wait until you discover what your dog does when you're not even there, when he seeks you out through the only thing of yours he can still feel your scent. 4. Curling up on your clothes because your scent feels like home. Have you ever walked into your bedroom and found your dog curled up right on your sweater or sleeping with his nose buried deep in your old t-shirt? You sigh, maybe laugh a little, brushing off the fur he leaves behind. But that's not just a cozy nap spot. It's a message, one that smells like love. To your dog, your scent is more than familiar. It's sacred. Every molecule carries a story where you've been, what you've felt the day you've had. Dogs experience the world through their noses. To them, you don't just have a scent. You are a scent, a living signature of safety. When he burrows into your clothes, he's not stealing warmth. He's surrounding himself with the one thing that reminds him you exist, even when you're gone. Behavioral studies show that dogs who sleep on their owner's belongings have lower cortisol levels, the hormone of stress. That's science's way of saying your smell heals him. It tells him you're safe. She'll come back. And isn't that beautiful? That something as invisible as smell can be the bridge between loneliness and peace. You might think he doesn't understand time, but he does in his own way. For him, your absence is a storm, and your scent is the calm that helps him wait. So next time you find him on your sweatshirt, don't move him. Let him have that little piece of you. Because soon he'll do something even more vulnerable. Something that only dogs who love without limits dare to do. He'll roll over, belly exposed, eyes soft, and offer you the most fragile thing he owns, his trust. And that, you'll see, is love made visible. 5. Rolling over for belly rubs, a gesture of total surrender. You've seen it 100 times. You come home, and before you can even set down your keys, your dog flops onto the floor, belly up, legs bent awkwardly in the air. Maybe you laugh. Maybe you reach down to scratch that soft patch of fur. But do you ever stop to wonder, why does he do it? Why would a creature that once descended from wolves expose the very spot that could end his life with a single strike? In the wild, no animal shows its belly unless it trusts completely. It's the ultimate surrender, the moment a warrior lays down his shield. When your dog rolls over for you, he's saying, I am safe with you. I believe you'll never hurt me. That isn't obedience. It's faith. His body is writing what his mouth can't say, "You are my peace." Veterinary studies show that when dogs receive gentle belly rubs from someone they trust, their brain releases serotonin and oxytocin, the same chemical pair that humans release when hugging someone they love. So when your dog sighs, his tail flicks slowly, his eyes half close, he's not being playful. He's feeling safe. And maybe without realizing it, that moment heals you too. Because in a world where trust is rare, your dog gives it without hesitation. He doesn't ask for perfection, just presence. But here's something few people notice: not every dog can do this. Some take years before they feel brave enough to show their belly. And when they finally do, it's not just an invitation to play, it's a confession of love. And speaking of love, there's one signal that almost everyone misreads as sign. Most think means excitement, but sometimes it's something much deeper. Watch what happens when that tail starts to move. 6. That wagging tail isn't always happiness. It's a language of emotions. You've seen it your whole life, that tail swinging like a metronome the second you walk through the door. It feels like pure joy, doesn't it? The universal sign of a happy dog. But here's a secret. Few people know a wagging tail doesn't always mean what you think it does. Sometimes it's excitement. Sometimes it's love. And sometimes it's his way of whispering, "I'm not sure what's happening, but I trust you'll make it okay." For dogs, the tail is a flag of the heart. It waves, it trembles, it tells stories. Behavioral research shows that when a dog wags to the right, it often signals positive emotion, safety, connection. But when the wag shifts slightly left, it can mean uncertainty or hesitation. The body never lies. It speaks a language older than words, one passed down from wolves who used every flick of the tail to survive. So when your dog greets you with that wide, sweeping wag, his whole body moving with it, it's not just happiness, it's relief. It's his way of saying, "You're here. The world makes sense again." And when his tail slows, when it moves gently, almost like a heartbeat, that's love in motion. You see, dogs don't measure happiness in toys or treats. They measure it in moments, in how your presence feels. Every wag is a pulse of emotion, a rhythm that syncs with yours. But there's another sign, one that looks funny at first, a pose that seems random, but tells you everything about how safe he feels. When your dog stretches out legs behind him like a little frog, don't laugh just yet. That posture hides a truth about comfort that only the happiest dogs ever show. 7. The frog pose a strange posture that reveals true comfort. You've probably seen it, your dog lying flat on the floor, back legs stretched straight behind like a little frog. It looks ridiculous, almost cartoonish. You might even laugh and take a photo. But here's the thing: that pose isn't random. It's a window into how safe, relaxed, and truly happy your dog feels when he's with you. In nature, no animal exposes itself this way unless it feels completely at ease. For a dog, lying flat with its belly pressed to the ground and limbs stretched open means, "I can let go. I'm not in danger here." It's a luxury of peace, something wild animals rarely experience. That little frog pose is the physical proof that in your home, he's not surviving anymore, he's living. Some vets even call it splooting, a term that perfectly captures the mix of comfort and silliness in that moment. It helps cool their bodies, stretch their muscles, but emotionally it says something even more powerful: I feel safe enough to stop guarding myself. That's not just trust, that's belonging. And maybe that's what dogs crave most, not endless play or praise, but a place where they can finally melt into the floor and breathe without fear. You've given him that. Without realizing it, Your presence became his quiet sanctuary. But there's another way he shows his love, one far more personal one that uses the oldest sense he has. You'll notice it when he leans in close tongue-out eyes, soft, and gently licks your hand. To you, it might seem small, but to him, it's the most ancient language of affection ever spoken. 8. Those gentle licks aren't random kisses, they're signs of deep attachment. It happens so naturally, you hardly think about it. You reach down to pet him, and he leans in, tongue flicking gently against your skin. Maybe your first reaction is to laugh, or maybe you wrinkle your nose and say, "Stop! That's gross." But what if I told you that behind those tiny wet gestures lives one of the oldest instincts of love known to dogs? Long before they were our companions, wild dogs licked each other as a sign of affection, reassurance, and unity. Pups licked their mothers to ask for comfort or food. Adults did it to keep peace within the pack. When your dog licks you, he's not just showing affection, he's performing a ritual of belonging. You're not his owner in that moment. You're his family. Science backs this up too. Studies show that licking releases dopamine and endorphins in dogs, the same chemicals that calm anxiety in humans. It's self-soothing, but also relational. Every lick is his way of saying, "I know you. I trust you. Let me take care of you too." Sometimes it's empathy. When you're upset, he feels it. When you cry, he tastes the salt on your skin, the proof of your sadness, and tries to make it go away the only way he knows how. It's a conversation without words, one where love tastes like skin, and safety smells like you. And if you think that's tender, wait until you hear the sounds he makes when he's happiest, the ones most owners mistake for growls. Because those soft rumbling noises, they're not warnings, they're love songs, quiet, simple, and meant only for you. 9. The soft growl of contentment, your dog's version of a happy sigh. You've heard it before, that low, quiet rumble your dog makes when you're petting him, when he's sprawled across your lap, or when he's chewing his favorite toy. For a split second, you freeze. You think, is he annoyed? Is that a warning? But listen closer. That sound isn't tension. It's relief. It's his way of exhaling happiness. Dogs don't sigh like humans do, but they have their own language for release, those small, deep growls that vibrate through their chest. It's a sound born from comfort, not aggression. Think of it like a cat's purr, steady, rhythmic, soothing. When your dog makes that sound, he's not saying, "Stop." He's saying, "This is good. Stay right here." Behavioral specialists call these pleasure rumbles. They happen when your dog's nervous system drops into total calm. His muscles loosen, his heartbeat slows, his guard melts away. The body that was built to defend is now free to rest. In that moment, he's not a descendant of wolves. He's just a soul at peace. And if you've ever felt him sigh as he settles next to you, you know what I mean. That tiny puff of air that feels like trust taking shape. It's his way of syncing his breathing with yours, of saying, "We're okay now." Most owners never realize how sacred that sound is. It's not noise, it's communication. It's the small, quiet proof that your presence calms the storm inside him. But there's one more signal, the most powerful of all. It happens in silence by the door when you're gone. Because sometimes love doesn't move or speak. It just waits patiently, faithfully believing you'll always come back. 10. Waiting by the door, the quietest and purest form of love. You've seen it, that familiar silhouette by the door. The stillness, the patience, the way your dog's ears lift at every sound, every car that passes. Hours may go by, but he doesn't move. He just waits. And maybe you've wondered, Does he know when I'm coming back? Does he understand time the way I do? The answer is no, and yes. He doesn't count hours, but he feels absence. He senses the empty space where your scent fades where your footsteps should be. And in that emptiness, he chooses to stay. That's what love looks like for him, not in fireworks, not in noise, but in faith. In his heart, waiting is an act of devotion. It's his way of saying, I believe you'll return because you always have. When you finally turn the key and the door opens, that explosion of joy isn't just excitement, it's relief. To him, your return is proof that loyalty still matters, that promises are real. Scientists once measured a dog's heartbeat. As their owner walked through the door, it spiked instantly, pulsing with recognition and joy. But here's the part no study can explain: the look in his eyes. That moment when everything inside him says, you came back. You always come back. And maybe that's the lesson he's been teaching you all along. Love isn't measured in gifts or words, but in presence, in showing up again and again, even when you don't have to. Because for your dog, love has never been complicated. It's waiting. It's believing it's the simple truth that his world begins and ends with you. And as you watch him tail wagging heart open, you realize maybe that's the kind of love we've all been searching for. Maybe now, when you look at your dog, you'll see him differently. Every glance, every sigh, every quiet step beside you, it's not random. It's his way of speaking the only language he knows, the language of love without words. We spend our lives searching for proof that we matter to someone, but our dogs have been showing us all along in silence, in stillness, in loyalty so steady, it almost feels sacred. He doesn't need grand gestures. He doesn't need promises. For him, love lives in the smallest things: your scent on a sweater, your footsteps on the floor, your hand resting gently on his fur. To him, that's forever. And maybe as you listen to him breathe beside you tonight, you'll realize something: that we're not the ones who teach dogs how to love. They're the ones reminding us what love was always meant to be: simple, constant, unspoken. If this video helped you understand your dog a little deeper, if it made you pause and smile, maybe even tear up, then stay with us. Subscribe to the channel and join a community of people who see their dogs not as pets, but as souls who walk this earth to love us in the quietest way possible. Because every video we make is a love letter from one heart to another, from one human to one loyal friend who never needed words to say, I love you.